Hi, welcome back to the last part of here. Okay, so essential nutrients will just a short one before we move on to water as well. So we have got water soluble vitamins that are transported in the blood plasma itself. We have got fat soluble vitamins, which is why we require fats. Now, water soluble vitamins we can consume pretty much as we want, and it will be passed out in the urinary system. But for fat soluble vitamins, because it can be stored in the fat system, okay, daily consumption is not really required. At extremely high levels, toxicity is being risked. Okay, now for bone formation especially, okay, you will need three things. Just take note: vitamin D, calcium, and phosphorus. These three are required to work in synergy or work together to form proper bone structure. Otherwise, you end up with soft, brittle bones and rickets, which is known as rickets itself. Okay, for the production of red blood cells, okay, to combine with hemoglobin, iron is often needed. Otherwise, anemia is faced. Okay, fiber, which is the cellulose part. Okay, remember your polysaccharide? The cellulose, the fiber from plant cells or your plant itself, it helps to prevent constipation, which is why fruits, vegetables are suggested to be eaten as a complete meal. Now, water is one of the most important ones because we are made up of 70 to 80% water depending on how hydrated you are. Function of water: water is main part of the blood plasma. Okay, so which is why it is a most important solvent. Okay, at the same time, whenever we sweat, okay, when we are heating up, sweating itself removes the excess heat from the body. So that will help to control and maintain the body temperature. Okay, all the food substances that you eat, okay, most of it with the exception of your fats itself, will be transported by the blood plasma, which consists of water, which is why you need the water component to pass things like, for example, glucose into all parts of the body. Okay, so remember when we have got two glucose coming together to give you a maltose. Okay, so water is being produced. Now, when I want to break my maltose down into glucose during digestion, hydrolysis means water is being required, and that water comes from the surrounding as well. Okay, so now water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So hydrogen atom is slightly positive and your oxygen atom is slightly negative. So because I have got this slightly negative component and this slightly positive component, hydrogen is able to form hydrogen bonds and possesses dipolar properties. Okay, so you can see that water has very good high specific heat capacity and high latent heat of vaporization. Okay, so high specific heat capacity means the amount of energy that is taken in by 1 gram of water, which will result in an increase in temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so which means that the water temperature can be maintained for quite a substantial amount in order for living organisms to survive. So, for example, when our body carries out metabolic processes and there is a lot of energy being produced, but our body temperature can be maintained at about 37 degrees Celsius due to this high specific heat capacity by water. Okay, so likewise, latent heat of vaporization from the term vaporization means to say that each time it vaporizes, 1 gram of water removes a huge amount of energy. Okay, so during sweating or when we are carrying out physical activities, this large amount of energy will be removed away from the body system. So that will help to maintain a narrow range of body temperature. So with this ideal temperature, enzyme reactions in our body system can still carry out. Okay, now water itself, we have got this slightly negative and slightly positive atoms. So since it can form hydrogen bonds, that will give rise to the next three components here. So adhesion and cohesion, they are able to be formed between the hydrogen bonds within themselves. So when they are able to form within themselves, it makes the transportation of water in plants extremely easy when it is going against gravity. Okay, so likewise, these hydrogen bonds can stick or adhere to external components of the xylem during water transportation. So these two work hand in hand during water transportation in plants. Okay, surface tension Okay, so you have got your hydrogen bonds, so they can withstand some external forces. So which is why insects, they can just skip over water surfaces. Okay, so over here, your water, it has got melting point and boiling point, which is extremely wide, between 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. So this wide range allows the liquid state for biological reactions to take place. Okay, now being transparent, okay, light can pass through for photosynthesis of aquatic plants, and the highest density of water is at 4 degrees Celsius. So 4 degrees Celsius, it is still in a liquid state. Being a liquid state, solid ice will float to the surface. So as the solid ice float to the surface, aquatic life during winter seasons can still survive under the ice surface area. And also recap that you have got high specific heat capacity of water. So even though the upper surface is ice, the below surface where the aquatic life is still being present, the high specific heat capacity of water enables the trapping of heat, and which is why fish and other aquatic plants can survive underwater even during winter period. Okay, and of course, being the universal solvent, okay, due to the hydrogen bonds, it forms your hydrostatic forces of attraction, enabling dissolving of a wide range of substances from your food substances, antibodies, or even waste products to remove it from the body system. Okay, now thank you for watching this part of the chapter on nutrition.